This is your 7.3 video lesson. I will be starting on page 356. Number 1 says, Shelly is throwing a graduation party. She wants to send nice invitations to all of her guests. She found a company that will send her a 10-pack of personalized invitations for $6 each, plus a $5 shipping fee for the entire order, no matter how large or small. I'm going to start with problem D. Maybe. There we go. Down here at the bottom, it says, write an algebraic expression that would represent the total cost of any order. P represents the number of 10 packs of invitations that were ordered. So again, an expression is just numbers and variables. When we look back up at the top, it says that she pays $6 for each 10 pack. So 6 per pack, plus the $5 for the shipping. Now let's go back and answer question A. A says, what is the cost of Jamie's order if she buys 3 10-packs of invitations? Well, all we have to do then is plug in the 3 10-packs in for the variable P. So we have 6 times 3 instead of P plus 5. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 5 gives us a total of $23 for 3 10-packs of invitations plus the shipping. Part B says, what is the cost of Shelly's order if she buys, and I don't know why this said Jamie here. Should be Shelly. What is the cost of Shelly's order if she buys 5 10-packs of invitations? So again, you're just going to plug 5 this time in for your P. So you should have 6 times 5 plus 5. So you can go ahead and solve B, C on your own, and when you're ready, press play. You should have gotten an answer of $35 for part B. For part C, you should have said something like, I multiplied the number of 10 packs of invitations ordered by $6 per pack, and I also added the $5 for shipping. Before I move on to E, I want to talk about letter H. H says to write the equation to describe the situation. Remember that an equation has an equal sign in it. If I'm going to write the equation, I have my 6p plus 5, and I'm going to set that equal to the cost. Now I want you to go back and try E, F, G, and I on your own. When solving E, you should have had your equation 6p plus 5 equals the total cost of $53, and then we're going to use two-step equations to solve for what the value of P is. So we need to work backwards through our order of operations. We're going to start down here at the bottom, get rid of any addition or subtraction, and then we're going to do multiplication or division second. Again, the goal is to just get everything away from P. If I start with addition and subtraction, and you need to the opposite of the inverse operation, and opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. You need to do it to both sides. I get 6p equals 48. Remember that 5 minus 5 cancels out. Next, I need to do my second step, which is any multiplication or division. I need to divide both sides by 6 because I'm trying to get everything away from p. Anything divided by itself is just 1, so I have p left on my left. And then 48 divided by 6 gives me 8. So this tells us that she bought 8 10-packs. your answers for the rest of this problem. For F, you should have gotten a total of 4 packs. For G, you should have written something about the fact that you subtracted the $5 shipping off both sides and then divided both sides by 6. And then I, you should have gotten an answer of 7 packs. Check over your answers to make sure you did them correctly, and then we can move on to the next problem. Problem 2 on page 358 says, in problem 1, you wrote and solved two-step equations. A two-step equation requires 2 inverse operations to be performed in order to isolate the variable. 2 main things here I want to talk about is the inverse operations. We did that in this example when we subtracted or did the opposite to both sides. So here we subtracted instead of adding 6, and here we would divide instead of multiply 6. So inverse just means the opposite operation, and it's to isolate the variable or to get the variable all by itself on one side because we wanted an answer of P equals something like 4 or 7. When you calculated the number of 10 packs ordered in question 1, part E and F, you were solving two-step equations. Suppose that Shelley paid $101 for her invitations, and you want to know how many 10 packs of invitations she ordered. You could use the equation you wrote in part H and substitute 101 in for C, the total cost of the order. This equation is a two-step equation because it requires 2 steps to solve it. To solve this equation, you need to perform steps that undo the steps in the original equation. So again, we're going to undo them by doing the opposite operation. So instead of adding 5, we subtract 5. Instead of multiplying 6, we divide 6. Number 1 says, what operations are given in the equation 6p plus 5 equals 101? Here we're using multiplication. And right here, we're using addition. Number 2 says, in what order would you perform the operations using the order of operations rules? Well, remember you have your please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And when you're using order of operations, you go from top to bottom. So first you would do multiplication, and second you would do addition. Remember that when you undo the operations or do the inverse operations, it is often simpler to undo them in reverse order. So instead of going from top to bottom in order of operations, you're going to start down here at the bottom and work your way up. In what order would you perform the inverse operations? Well, first you would do the subtraction, and second you would do the division. Number 4 wants you to solve for 101, or with a cost of 101, how many packs did you buy? And then number 5 says, what does this solution mean in terms of the problem situation? So solve number 4 and answer number 5, and when you're ready, you can go ahead and press play to check your answers. For number 4, you should have gotten an answer of P equals 16. So if she spent $101, she bought 16 packs of cards. Next, I want you to move on to page 360 and complete all the ones on 360 and 361. If you need more help with two-step equations, you can watch this part. If not, you can skip through it. So again, you're going to complete page 360 and 361 and then press play. Okay, remember that we have to work through our order of operations. And since we're undoing it, we need to work through backwards. We're going to do any or addition or subtraction first, and any multiplication or division second. How do we get rid of -3? Well, we add 3 or do the opposite operation. And I don't know why I just wrote a 5. We're adding 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 cancels out, gives us 0. We're left with just 5x. 2 plus 3 is 5. Next, our x is being multiplied by 5, so we need to do the opposite of multiplication and divide both sides by 5. We should get an answer of x equals 1. So again, go through and complete the next 2 pages, and when you're ready, press play. After you've finished page 360 and 361, I want you to complete problem 3 on page 362. We will check these last 3 pages in class tomorrow. Have a great night.